Fungal Gnattage. Check them out. An absolute massacre. Fungus gnats and crickets came up. Took a bite out of my plant. One bite. A single bite. And I decided, you gotta go. You gotta go. They weren't touching it. As you can tell, the leaves look great. But now, as soon as they touched it, you gotta go. You gotta go. Sorry, but you gotta go. You see that? See that right there? That's like a baby cricket. That's a baby cricket right there. Well, you'll die before you get to cricket all night long in the corner of my room. I took one bite out of this baby too. A tiny little bite. A tiny little bite. Just a tiny little smidgen of a bite. They didn't even like it that much, as you can tell, because they would have continued to eat it. What they've been doing is just staying mostly in the organic, decomposing organic matter I got around here. Once they bit into that living organic matter, had to go. Get them out. But up until then, they weren't causing any sort of issue whatsoever. And the crickets just got to go too. I mean, come on. You can't be cricketing in my room. You can't be cricketing in my room. Alrighty? That would just be crazy. In other news, other than fungal gnattage and cricketage, the Whiskey Zulu is being trained into a canopy quite easily. If you had never trained a plant before, this is the plant to start with. It is just so easy to train this plant. It's already doing what it does. I had to chop off none of these bottom leaders yet. I did have to move one around, so it got a little bit of light. But that is just the way that training plants go. And so eventually it'll just create that shelf and they'll just continue to grow up and stay level. And hopefully that's what we can do, create that canopy going. And I am really looking forward to smoking this plant. Even the leaves. Even these leaves I'm looking to smoke it once bottom pruning stage comes. Because I can already smell the myrcene kicking off right here. If you aren't aware, you can smoke your leaves. They do have THC on them. They have trichomes. There's 3 types of trichomes. Right now, there's only one type of trichome produced on the plant. They grow like this down the leaf. You can see it if you take it up close to a light. You can see the little dots, and this is the smallest version of trichome. At the end of the life cycle, you see those big trichomes. You can see them on the outside of the plant, those big fucking resinous balls. But these are very small. They're very tiny, like 1/100th of the size of the final ones. And they're not very psychoactive, I will say that as well, but it's more for flavor and medicinal. It does give you a little bit of a medicinal effect, but I wouldn't say it's a high or anything like that. It's more of just you do feel a little bit of a medical response to it. Like, it does help with pain a little bit. It does help with get your appetite going. You get your mind in the right place too, and you don't feel if you ever have that feeling where you're like, I need to smoke, it gets rid of that. That's nice, And nowadays you can't buy leaves, so it's sort of an eclectic thing just for growers to toke on their leaves. I feel as though that way. I feel as though it's a little bit eclectic, but most people kind of look down. I've heard some people raise their nose at me here and then. I smoke some leaves. Some people tried to make fun of it even. But of course they just haven't experienced it. That's all it is, and they're small-minded individuals. Fuck them. No, but on a serious note, they're just misled or whatever it is. They think you can only smoke the buds, or the buds are the only thing worth smoking. Not true. The leaves are worth smoking as well. Can't wait to smoke that one, and look at that one over there. The ogre berry still stunting. No issues color-wise. Good color. The neck's a little twisted. The leaves a little twisted. which maybe is a nutrient issue. I don't believe it is a nutrient issue. I think it's more of a, because of the color, I think it is a genetic issue. As I've been documenting this one seed coming up, it's had a few issues thus far. So I think it has to do with the genetics, as well as the previous pack. All three of them failed to fully take. All three of them had issues, and this one had an issue as well. This special queen had an issue. As you can tell right now, the leaves are pale at the end, chlorosis. It is not a potassium deficiency, if you're thinking that. It is absolutely not. You can tell the rest of the color, perfect. It's just overwatering, I believe is what it was. Been watering it once, twice a week, and the colors come back. It never looked like it was... The stem looked a little bit worse for wear, I think, at one point. It looked darker, but now it's fine. It's just failure to thrive at this point, I think. So we'll see by the end of the summer if she comes out with any bud, but that is to be seen. That is still to be seen. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. She might just end up being a lost cause. I don't know when she's going to be strong enough to go outside, if ever. This is a plant that maybe needs sunlight, but I don't know if it can handle all the other things associated with going outside. The wind alone would cause an issue for this plant. It seems like anything I do to it, it just sort of doesn't really like it, so... Except for not feeding it water. That's the only thing that's responded well, is just feeding it water every 4.5 days. Giving it just a touch of water, like this amount of water, and that amount of water. Not a lot of water at all, and it's just stunted completely. Don't know why. But on a brighter note, Whiskey Zulu is smelling good already, and that is what's enticing me, of course. Just getting me going. Smelling already. Creating a canopy, doing what she needs to do. So it's a good plant right there. It's a good plant. I've just recently found some rooting powder that was stashed away, so I'm going to be taking cuttings and putting them outside along with this one if it ever gets ready, of course. My garden is ready for planting in. The final frost, pretty much final frost. I don't know if it's the exact final frost, but about the final frost has just happened 2-3 days ago, and now we can expect where I live that was probably the last one. Cannot wait for the rest of the season to play out. It is going well thus far. Little bit of hiccup here or there. Starting to plant in that pot seemed to be a little bit of an issue. Not the pot itself, obviously, wasn't the issue, just the genetic. But we're getting it going. We're seeing what we can get. We're seeing what's going down. And keep you posted.